Hey guys, it's Doug here, Doug Mystic on Board Game Geek. Welcome back to the channel and our next episode of Kingdom Death Monster as we head into the settlement phase for Lantern Year 3. Really good couple of first years, I have to say. Year 0, we took on the White Lion. It was a little tough. One of our guys ended up with a permanent injury in his leg. He's also now got a disorder called quixotic, which is actually good if he gets a little insane. We've had some other trauma, but nothing significant. Shara, who's now called Shara the Insane, she developed 9 insanity on a roll, but then one of my viewers, who I want to thank, corrected something. I missed a piece of an event, and she actually had +3 more. Now, she lost one during the adventure, so she was down to 8. That puts her at 11 insanity. That is crazy. I should look it up and see if something happens at 11 insanity, but I'm sure something's going to. Anyway, I have one more correction I want to make and talk about from the last episode before we move on. And actually, there's 2 things. One's a correction, one's something that we have to do. The correction is that there has been some changes and rewrites in the rulebooks that confused me last time about getting collision with monsters. So, in the original rules, when you collided with a monster, you took bash and knock back 5, okay? In the new rules, well, first off, in the new rules, the way they're spread out, if you don't find go to the actual detailed rules on collision and knockback, you won't see this at all. It'll just say you're knocked down, which I can show you if you like, but you can take my word for it. And I'm using the hardbound 1.5 edition rulebook. But it also changed it in the main rules, where it doesn't apply bash anymore, it just applies knockback. So it's a little confusing. There's some changes that you got to work through. Anyway, regardless of that, when Percival got ran over, he should have been knocked back, and I didn't do that. That's okay. Not the end of the world. All right, so the next thing that we have to do is when we returned, or as we were returning during the showdown phase, Angus got his age milestone. So we're going to take care of that before we actually start the settlement phase. And the reason we're going to take care of that is because it happened during the showdown phase, which actually plays an impact on what that result will be. Okay, guys, here's the age table. So the first thing we do is we get to pick a weapon proficiency, and I think with him, I'm not sure what we're going to pick. Anyway, life interrupted. I apologize. So we're going to get that weapon proficiency. I'm going to think about that. I'm going to decide. There's so many different ways. I might. It doesn't actually see. It doesn't actually. You may now select a weapon proficiency. I want to pick something like bow for him because he's got limited movement, and you can't take darts. So the only other real option I have that would benefit him right now is sword. So I'm not sure. I'm going to think about that. But we're going to also roll on this chart here. He's going to get a random benefit. So let's see what that is. A 6. +1 permanent strength. That's pretty good for him. Even with a bow, that's going to be helpful. So Angus gets 1 permanent strength. That means he's another brute. We got a couple of those going on. All right, then we look and see at what point. Oh, I take it back. Age is the same. I don't know which one it was. It's based on the result of when it happened, the showdown. I think that's courage. Oh, I don't remember. One of them. Oh, Hunt XP. I don't remember, guys. Well, anyway, the age is done. We solved it. Now, when he gets to 2, that's for his first box there, for his age box. Now, when he gets to, I don't know, it's age what, or Hunt XP 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then he'll get to roll on this one here. So, anyway, if he gets to that, he might not live that long. Anyway, that's going to be the end of that. So, the next thing we are going to do is head into our settlement phase. So let's do that. It is now the settlement phase for the settlement of Ember. Okay, here we are at the beginning of the settlement phase. So the first thing we're going to do is have our survivors return. So Constantine and Nona and the others greet Angus, Shara, Annabelle, and Percival as they return from the hunt of this strange bulbous creature. They come back to the light of the lantern horde, out of the storm, to the close huddled locations and buildings that they've been able to prepare in the previous lantern years in the settlement of Ember. However, it's still pouring rain and still really rough on them, so they're going to have to continue to go, but we have some great innovations, things that they've developed over time that are going to help them. First thing they do is they pick up their endeavors. Since there are 4 returning survivors, they get 4 endeavors to spend, and that is very, very good. Okay, then we're going to, so we've done that, then we're going to move up and update our timeline. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so this is Lantern Year 3, and you can see that we actually have no special events that happen that Lantern Year. So I've updated the timeline. Now, next year we know that premonition, precognition, whatever you want to call it, tells us that we're going to have a nemesis encounter with the Butcher. That's going to be a pretty rough fight, but I think we're going to be fairly well prepared for it as it comes. We have some great things going on. Next thing we're going to do is move to our death count. You can see it's still 0. We haven't lost anybody yet. Cross our fingers. It will happen. And so let's go take a look at that. Okay, so we move up our guys to update the death count. All 4 of our heroes returned to the settlement. That is fantastic. And then we're going to, now that we've done that, we're going to check the milestones and events. Well, we do have a milestone, and that was a couple things. Well, some things I want to cover anyway before we go on to our development and our innovations. We did kill a Gorn. Now, that gave us a couple things. One of the things it gave us was this, the Negretto innovation. So that we've added that to our innovation, so that increases our survival limit by 1, which means the survival limit of Ember is 5. That is outstanding. Okay, it is 5. That's very, very good. Now, we also are going to, this also gives us some abilities, some powers. It is going to give us the, this roll here. We can spend an endeavor to gain an elixir of disintegration and archive 1 bone resource. It's very powerful, but I don't think we're going to do it this turn because I can't afford to lose this. And if we had 3 bones, we could make a dense bone using the Negretto science Gormchemy talent. Anyway, that is going to go up here with our innovations, and it also gives us something else. Because of that, we get our Negretto consequences, which is this, the albedo. It's a science Gormchemist or Gormisty or Gormchemy Negretto consequence. Okay, so we're going to add albedo consequence to the innovation deck, and that's what we're going to do. It's going to have some other things happen. So this is now in our innovation deck. I'm going to randomize that, of course, because we may not get it right away. It's just part of the deck. It could come up, could not come up. And then we're going to move on. Now I have our resources piled there. We'll take a look at those in a moment because we have quite a few resources. And I kind of spent a little time beforehand thinking about what we're going to do, because we also have the Gormchemist or Gormchemist and the Gormery to build things with, and they're really interesting. The Gormchemist, though, is a little tough. Right now we'll be rolling a I think just 1d10 or 2d10. I'm not sure. I have to read it again to create these random potions, but they're powerful. I don't think we're going to be doing that this turn. But let's take a look at the resources that we have and what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do, I think we're definitely going to commit to an innovation. I think it's the right thing to do that every single Lantern Year. So here are, as we go on to now, we got to do the events, actually. Before I do that, we need to do the events, and I almost forgot. So we have the Gorm climate. That is still out. It stays with us. It is a settlement event that stays out. And so we're going to roll on this. Hopefully we roll really, really well, because we have some benefits to it. So let's go do that. Okay, what do we get? We got a 9. That's got to be good, right? Except we don't have storytelling. Does the settlement have storytelling? No. Okay. Wow, I don't know if this is going to be good or not then. The settlement struggles against the quaking ground, linking arms to brace themselves against the storm. Nominate a survivor with 0 hunt XP. They draw strength from the settlement and determination and gain +1 courage. Well, I think that's going to be an easy one. I think we'll nominate Nona, because she's already a named character with an ability, so she gets +1 courage. She's already got +1 in evasion too, as well as a +2 survival when she's got right now. So we got to make her character. She's actually turned out to be pretty worthwhile. Anyway, that was really good for us. So the only thing bad that can happen is if we roll low, but that's not the end of it. We have to draw another event. So I'm going to get the event deck. I've shuffled it, but I'm going to give it a quick shuffle because it's the first time we're drawing from it. And let's see what happens. Yes, 2 events. That's the downside to the Gorm. Even though we beat him, we defeated him easily, and even though that event was helpful to us, it may not always be, and you never know what we're going to get next, right? So let's draw that and see. This could be good, could be bad. You never know what these... What do we get? Stranger in the Dark. Settlement event. Roll a d10. Okay. We're going to do that. Let's see what happens. A 2. Well, that's not going to be good, is it? The stranger speaks, calling himself the Horizon Man. He claims to have touched the water and the sky. In a blink of an eye, the man is gone, leaving his lantern and a pile of bones. Add 1 skull, 1 bone, and 1 broken lantern resource to the settlement storage. Wow! That was awesome! Stranger in the Dark, you can come back anytime. Okay, let me get those resources. So I had to write down the skull and the lantern on our sheet because I have all those cards out already. Anyway, that was a really fantastic event. Hopefully the Stranger in the Dark comes back. So 1 bone, I'm going to add 1 skull. Even though we're going to probably use them this turn, I'll add 1 skull and 1 broken lantern. That gives us 3 scrap. That is really good. Okay, so I'm going to keep track of that. We got those resources. We got a lot of stuff this turn that we can do. So the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to use the Lantern Horde, of course, to innovate. We need to use an innovation, a bone, an organ, and a hide. So let's take a look at that. If we just got another bone, we'll just use that one. That's fine. I'm not going to use these special organs. I'm going to look for one of the regular old organs that we have. Let's see. We do have, I think, just an organ to use for this, and I'm looking for it. We got lots of hides. Got to see the kidney, and then I'm going to keep that. This jiggling lard, I don't think we can do anything with this. It can be an organ or a hide, so I don't think we'll use it for that either. Yeah, I guess we'll just use the one from the basic set, the wherever it is. Now I've lost it. The this one. We'll use this as an organ. It can be used as organ, bone, or hide. We'll use it as an organ right now for the innovation. Then we got our bone, and then the last thing we need is a hide, which we have lots of. So here is our hide, monster hide, right there. So those 3 things plus an innovation, and we're going to innovate. Or sorry, not an innovation, a endeavor. And then we're going to use those to innovate, which means we're going to draw 2 innovation cards and pick one of the 2 of them. Okay, so here is our deck. You know that I already shuffled it up from when we got that last innovation into the deck here. What do we get? We've got Forbidden Dance and Song of the Brave. Okay. Forbidden Dance is music drums consequence. It says when a survivor uses the synchronized strike secret fighting art, reroll misses. Missed attacks. We don't have that, but we can gain some stuff from this. This is a good one, and it also adds Forbidden Dance consequences. Okay, then Song of the Brave. The survivors lift all of their voices in the darkness. On arrival, each non-death survivor removes 1 negative attribute token. During the Overwhelming Darkness story event, which we haven't run into, each non-death survivor may select the Path of the Brave. Okay, add Song of the Brave consequences to the deck. I think Forbidden Dance is going to be better for us. We're going to take Forbidden Dance. Our peaceful, weird society is now dancing. So I have to go get those innovations out of the innovation deck as well and add them to our growing deck of things that we can create. I think that only adds the Heart Flute to our deck of growing innovations. That's okay. So we're dancing. We're dancing machines. Da-da-da-da-da. All right, now that we've done our innovation for the turn, we are going to start to produce things. So let's take a look at that. We have 3 more innovations left. I got to think about what I want to use them for. There's several things in our set now that we can do. Something we haven't talked about are the 2 new locations that we have from defeating the Gorm. We have the Gorm Chemist and the Gormery. Now, the Gorm Chemist, it says transmute, spend 2 organs and roll a d10. Add 1 d10 for each Gormicky. I'm not going to be able to get this right. Gormicky innovation in your settlement. So we have 1, so that tells me I think we'd be rolling 2d10 because this is a Gormicky innovation. And then it says we get to, if we randomly roll, we get a Gorm random resource, or we get one of these things. So we could end up with a really cool resource, but pretty risky. It also has a special innovation, but it's very costly to get. We need one strange resource and 1 Gorm brain. We don't have those. And it allows us to gain the next Gormistry innovation automatically. So that's pretty good. And we can also archive one Gormicist potion to reroll a die result, so we can do that too and try and manipulate what we want. We also have the Gormery, which builds the Gorm armor set, plus a bunch of really good items. One of them we're going to build. The one I really want to build is this Gorn. It's a horn, really powerful. I'm not going to tell you what it does yet until we can build it, but it needs 1 stout heart and 3 bone. We don't have that, so I wanted to get to that eventually, okay? So we have 3 innovations, and we're going to build some stuff. I'm going to map everything out, and I'm going to come back and tell you what we did with it, okay? Okay, so I did make one little change. Instead of using this organ for our innovation, I used the stout heart. So I just swapped them out. Its result is the same. Okay, but first we're going to the Gormery, where we have built a couple of things. One is we're going to use a meaty rib bone and monster hide, as you can see here. 1 meaty rib, 1 hide. That's going to be used to build the rib blade from the Gorm. It only has 1 die, but it needs only a 6 to hit. It is a 5 strength. That is really powerful, especially in the hands of someone who has +1 strength. And also, or +1 accuracy, even better. And it's slow, but it's deadly. That means it criticals on a 9 or a 10. That's really useful. Okay, then we get another one. We have the Greater Gax. Now, I was wondering if you had to build the Gax before you built the Greater Gax, but you don't. The Greater Gax is a 2-handed weapon. That's the difference. So we needed a Jiggling Lard and a Dense Bone. Dense Bone, Jiggling Lard, which we had both of. So we were able to build this whopper here. 2 dice, same as the Bone Axe, except you can't use another weapon or shield or anything in the other hand. However, it's a 6+. It has a strength of 4, so it's 1 point better than the Bone Axe. It is not frail. It also has these bonuses when we get these items into our, which we're going to be very close to on a perfect hit, but we don't get that yet. But it is deadly. Again, a 9 or a 10, and has a reach of 2. So that is going to be an awesome item that we're going to be giving to somebody. Then next up, we go to the Bone Smith. Now, I'm claiming that we used 2 skulls, even though I only had 1 skull card to go into the discard pile, to gain us 2 skull helms. Now, these are going to give us 3 points of armor in the head to a couple of people, and we'll see who those go to. Then we're going to take 1 step over. We're going to use our Fresh Acanthus, which is a strange resource, and we're going to get the Dried Acanthus. When you depart, gain +2 survival. When you suffer a severe injury, ignore it and archive this instead. Guess who's getting that? Okay, and then we're going over here. We got 2 hides in this organ. That's why I needed it. And this monster hide to get rid of. These are basic resources to gain the rawhide headband and the rawhide gloves, which you'll see why that's going to be purposeful in just a moment. So those are the things that we built. What do we have left? Well, we have left a monster bone, a stout kidney, an active thyroid, and 3 broken lanterns and love juice. So I'm going to make sure those end up on our settlement sheet, and I'm going to show you where all of these guys' stuff is going to go, and then we'll continue on to the end of the settlement phase. Okay, here we are with Angus. This is Angus's board right here, and he is going to get the Dried Acanthus and 1 of the skull helms. That's right, he's doing well. Okay, and that's going to be it. That's all he's going to get. And then we're going to hop over to Percival. We're going to change some things out here. The monster grease. Now remember, during our turn, we can change things out however we want. We're going to give him this great axe. That solves part of our problem there. I wish we had another green thing to put here. It would give us the benefit of the great axe, the Grax. And we're going to give him the rawhide headdress. Now, I was going to give him the gloves, but here's the cool part. We've completed this, so I'm going to give the gloves to someone else right now. What does this mean? Well, that means he gets +1 evasion. Plus, since he connected this puzzle piece, we get this reveal. The top 2 AI cards, place them back on top in any order. That is really good. Then we're going to swap out the Bone Axe. He can't use it anymore, so we're going to give it to somebody else. And I think we're going to give it to Angus as a backup weapon. So now has the Bone Axe. Okay. And then Annabelle, dear Annabelle, our very strong tumbler who's got some strength bonuses and is quite capable, is going to get the rawhide gloves. We're going to give her those to start her rawhide set, give her some armor. And then we are also going to give her a skull helm. Okay. Remember, she's one of the people that runs in and fights with the dagger and all that stuff, but we're going to take her founding stone away. Okay, and so that's going to be her gear grid for now. And then got the lovely wheat-haired Shara the Insane. She is going to get a second founding stone in her gear grid, so she has 2 to throw if she needs them. She has the bone blade, but we're going to put that back for right now. I think she's going to keep it as a backup weapon, maybe, but she's going to then take the rib blade. This thing is really gross, so very useful. We'll just put these in the bottom of the grid here. She's got those to throw if she needs them. We might leave the bone blade behind, even though we don't lose anything unless our entire group dies. And again, she's got +1 strength, so that rib blade right there, check her out. Shara with the rib blade has a strength of 6 with that weapon, and it's deadly, meaning it criticals on a 9 or a 10. We're ready for the big bad guy that's coming at us next turn, and the Butcher. So that's going to be the end of our settlement phase. We didn't. Oh wait, no, I still have 3 innovations, and I know what we're going to do with them. Sorry, Annabelle has +1 accuracy, not +1 strength, but she is. And I got to rewrite her brain right here. It is currently at 11. She's got 11 insanity. She's like crazy woman, but she's got the awesome sword, and she's going to go crazy with it. Okay, that is going to mark the end of that phase. So I'm going to take care of our last 3 innovations and see what we can do. So Annabelle is a matchmaker. Matchmaking requires 2 innovations. So we're going to spend 2 there. And then the other, well actually, we may not. We may not do that. I still have the love juice. I could use that instead. Let's do that. We are going to have an event this turn, but we're going to use the love juice to do that instead. So we'll get that out. But we're going to spend an innovation, I believe, on Forbidden Dance and an innovation on drums. So we got to figure out who's going to play those. And then we'll still have an innovation left over. I might do an augury. I don't know. I don't know. Is there anything we can do? Well, we can do this too. We can innovate here and get this disintegration, but we have to archive a bone resource. I still have one, so we might do that. And it says here we can elixir of reshaping, spend 3 bones. We couldn't do that. So unless I roll a 1 or 2, this is really useless. Maybe there's something else we can do better with our no, you know what we can do? We can scavenge. That's what we're going to do. Heck yeah. Okay, so we have that mapped out. I think for the drums is going to give us something really, I think Annabelle or Percival. What do you think? I think Percival will go for the drums, so we're going to spend that innovation on him, and he's going to go beat the drums. Let's check it out. Okay, let's roll and see. We get a 9. Oh wait, I don't think we roll. Okay, we get to choose. Okay, you drum alone, gain +2 insanity. He's got none. That would be helpful. Gain the rhythmic chaser fighting art or strength synchronized strike fighting art. I'm going to take a look at those, but we may just gain this +2 survival. He's only got 1 right now. He'll get 1 more when he leaves, but he could have 3. That would be useful. Or we can get 2 insanity. He's got none right now to protect his head. I think I'm going to keep it safe right now. We'll do this next turn for one of these special things. I'm going to give him 2 insanity. He needs that badly. So he's going to drum alone. It's going to make him a little crazy. He's getting a little whacked out. I know that seems not as useful, but trust me, that insanity is going to become really important. Also, he's got 1 now armor in the head, the waist, and the body. Yes, we got that covered. Okay, and then we're going to have Annabelle do the Forbidden Dance. Why? Because she's hot, and we're going to have her check it out. Annabelle's a powerful, tumbling, sexy woman. Let's see what she gets dancing. A 10! Ooh, that's a critical, right? What do we get? Get the King's Step Secret Fighting Art. Oh, I have never seen that before. I can't wait to see what that does. Here it is, guys. King's Step's Secret Fighting Art. Whenever you attack, you may discard any number of battle pressure hit locations drawn and draw an equal number of new hit locations. I don't know what that means. So we'll have to figure it out. She's got the secret fighting art though. Whenever you attack after drawing hit locations but before rolling to wound, you may choose 1 hit location drawn and discard it to draw a new hit location. Okay, so when we're doing the hit locations on the monster, she can that's useful. And traps will cancel these effects. Okay, I'm going to record this and then archive it. She has the King's Step secret fighting art. Okay, now we're going to send Constantine out to do some scrap scavenging. Let's see what he gets. Roll a d10, a 7. A survivor carefully searches the settlement's edge, groping in the dark for pieces of broken lantern. Rolled a 7, gain 1 broken lantern resource. So now we have a total of 4 of those. That's going to be good when we're able to use scrap. Because there's a lot of great items that require scrap, and when we are able to start smelting and making hot, like furnace-based items, that'll be useful. Anyway, that is all 4 of our innovations, or sorry, our endeavors this turn. So we've completed that. The last thing that we have to do is we're going to use the love juice and have some kids again. I think it's not going to be Nona, but we'll pick Constantine. Well, maybe actually we're going to pick Angus and Annabelle are going to have children together. Now you can do that, and unless something weird happens. Man, that's really rough though. Maybe we do Constantine and Annabelle. Have the Great Warrior carry on her legacy. So I think we'll do Constantine and Annabelle. I don't want to accidentally knock out both Angus and her. So we'll do those two. Actually, no, we're going to play it by the story. These two have been together since the beginning. They found each other in the dark. It's going to be Angus and Annabelle. Darn it. Okay. Okay, now remember that we have Protect the Young, Principle of Life. Children are our future. When rolling an intimacy story event, roll twice and pick the result. Can't go wrong with that, right? So we are going to be rolling 2 dice and picking the best result. Now, we do have a couple of things here. It says the first time your settlement gives birth to a new gain +1 pot. We did that, okay. As your settlement grows, we also have the innovation of beds, so we get a bonus if we roll here, and we get if we get a 9 or 10, we'll have something really good happen. So let's see what we can get. I'm going to get the 2 dice out now. It's not a percentile roll. I just picked the white die to have something different. Let's see what we get. Get a 7 and 8. Okay, well, both of those are going to result in the same thing. Okay, the settlement gains +1 population. The male and female survivor share a deep bond and gain +10 survival each. Well, they can't do that because our limit in our settlement, where'd our settlement sheet go? It's right here, is 5, but they're both going to start the next event with 5 of that. And then if the settlement innovation bed, the new survivor gains +1 strength. So our newborn to Annabelle and Angus is going to be let me think. Okay, the son of Angus and Annabelle. I'm going to go crazy with the names here. I'm like randomly picking names. It's going to be Beowulf. Okay, so, and he's got +1 strength, and of course, because I've named him, he will have +1 survival as well. So, Beowulf, son of Angus and Annabelle. And so, those 2 survivors get a massive bonus. So now we have to decide, what are we going to hunt? Do we hunt another Gorm? Man, the stuff on the Gorm is really good. We could hunt another Gorm. We could hunt a white lion. I really want to get somebody with a bow. So I think we're going to hunt a white lion next turn. We could hunt the antelope too, but I don't want anybody to get too beat up coming back to fight the... we know we have a big fight next Lantern Year. So I think we're going to go after the white lion. Yeah. Okay, the hunt phase for Lantern Year 3 will begin. Okay guys, here we are, Lantern Year 3, Hunt for the White Lion. Now I skipped over our departing guys. You saw the gear stuff, but they all did gain +1 survival. Don't forget that Angus has 5 survival, as does Annabelle. That is really awesome. And we're going to start our first turn, and I think Shara the Insane, she's going to be the first one to explore and hunt event. So this is the hunt track for the White Lion. We're going after a level 1 White Lion, try and gain some more White Lion resources so we can build up some of our gear. I really want to get somebody with some good ranged attacks. Maybe we can get a good ranged weapon before we take on the Butcher. Okay, let's see what we're going to find here. The Scratching Ground. I think we have this one already, didn't we? There aren't that many of these, so they're going to repeat. Claw marks scour the ground. The survivor may choose to investigate. Each survivor investigates gains 1 courage and rolls on the table. Well, I mean, there's no question about the fact that Shara is going to do that, for sure. So let's start with her. She's like, heck yeah. Now, Annabelle might skip it because she's already got 3 courage. I mean, it's a long time before you get the other big courage event. And let's see. I think, yeah, and then she gets to see the truth thing, and yeah, there's a long way to go there for her. I don't think she's going to do this, but let's do Shara. She's definitely going to do it. By the way, she's more crazy than brave, but she does get another courage that gives her 2, and then we're going to roll a d10 on this table and see what we get. We get a 4. You know, nothing happens. That's not terrible. Okay, let me see. Does courage help either of the other 2? Angus? Yes, Angus will do it. It'll give him another courage. He's 1 away from getting the bold trait then. And then we're going to roll for him. An 8. What does that give us? 8, nothing. Okay, that's not bad. He gains the courage. I'm not going to worry about that. And then let's take a look at Percival. Oddly enough, Percival has no courage. So he's going to do that. And we're going to roll for him as well. A 5, which means nothing. So gain nothing. So that event is done. Everybody but Annabelle did that. I'm debating, I mean, it might be a long time. Let's have Annabelle do it too. She says, you know what? Nobody else got hurt doing it. I'm going to do it too. Okay, so we get to mark 1 more courage for her. Let's see what we get. A 6, nothing, right? Is that nothing again? So nobody got anything out. 4 to 8. What would we have gotten? A lion claw. Man, that would have been nice. That helps us get a good weapon. Anyway, that's it for that one. So we're going to remove that. Everybody's going to push forward as we're heading on. I guess Percival, with his newfound courage, as we moved up, Percival will take the next step and see what we get here. Lion in heat. The darkness is filled with an unearthly screeching and yowling. Huddled together, the survivors close their eyes but cannot sleep. All survivors suffer 1 brain damage. Well, that is bad for Angus because he didn't have any sanity, so he immediately checks his brain box. Hopefully the lion doesn't do anything more to him. Everybody else had a little bit of insanity, of course, except for Shara, who's insane. She's going down to 9, or 10, rather. Okay, so that actually did do a brain damage to Angus. Annabelle's down to 1 insanity. Percival's down to 1 insanity. Shara has a 10 insanity. But we still have 1 more event to go, and I guess Angus will do it. It's a random event, we know that. And depending on how this plays out, we're going to go into the showdown next, so we'll see. Let's get out the random event table and see what happens. Okay, here we are. What do we get? We get a 63. Have we had that before? That sounds really familiar. 63. Let's see what that is. We're going to pop on over here. 63. I don't think it is. Feet. That's interesting. Check out that. Okay, feet. The stone faces ahead are replaced by an expanse of stone feet sprouting from the ground. So the survivors walk soul to soul with the feet. If any survivor is insane, okay, Shara, she's the only one, they are convinced they have reached the underside of the world. They clutch the ground for dear life, terrified of falling off. Their raucous terror slows the survivors and attracts unwanted attention. Roll once on the hunt event table for each insane... What's the hunt event table? I'll have to look at... I don't know. For each insane survivor before moving on to hunt board. Does that mean this table? This is a random hunt event. Yes, this is it. So we're going to have to roll 1 more. Okay. If any of these rolls result in feet, ignore it and re-roll. Okay. If all survivors are insane, they're not. They fall off the underside of the world. The survivors are dead unless the settlement chooses survival of the fittest. We didn't, but thank God only Shara is insane. If they did, the survivors bite down hard on the feet. Okay, we don't have to worry about anything here. This is only if all survivors are insane. So we had 1 insane for survivor. So we're going to have to roll on this chart again because we were trying to drag Shara off. She thinks she's going to fall off the end of the world or the underside of the world, and she's just gibbering like a crazy mad woman because she is, in fact, a crazy mad woman. So we're going to roll a 5. I don't know, low is always bad. I think that's just, this was a bad thing for us, right? Okay, let's check it out. 5. Flesh fields. Okay, this cannot be good. Okay, ahead, the stone faces on the ground give way to a field of man-sized fleshy boils sprouting thick black hair. The sinuous terrain, this is awful, the sinuous terrain radiates moist heat. As they travel, every survivor suffers heat exhaustion, losing 1 survival. Okay, the event revealer rolls a d10. That was technically Angus. If any survivor has a sickle, nope, they help clear the path by cutting the black hair. Add 4 to your roll. No, we don't have that, but let me go deal with the survival. I got to take a survival off everybody's sheet. And that leaves Angus with 4, Annabelle with 4, and the other 2 with only 1 survival. Percival and Shara only have 1 survival each. Okay, then we're going to roll a d10. Let's see what we get. A 4. 4. It's hot and gross, but the survivors pass through the fields with no complications. Whoo! It would have been nice if we had harvested a hide, but I'll take nothing over something bad. Okay, so that was here. So that means we go on to the hunt, guys. We have found our quarry, the White Lion. So I showed it to you. So we have found our quarry, the White Lion. He is going to be fighting us next turn. It will not be an ambush, so the White Lion is going to go before us, but we have some massive, massive advantages, don't we? With the headband and the King's Step fighting art and all the gear that we have, we should slaughter this lion unless we get unlucky. So, guys, that's the end of the settlement phase and the hunt phase for Lantern Year 3 of the Ember Settlement. Our heroes are doing pretty good. Right now they're doing fantastic, so that means that one of them is bound to die very, very soon. I think if we had gone after the antelope or something, we probably would have suffered a hit, and it's very likely that we may take a death with the butcher when we have to fight the nemesis next turn. We'll see. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying our playthrough of Kingdom Death Monster, the Ember Settlement, and I'll see you in the next episode for the showdown. Take care.